Ted, thanks. After being kicked off their practice field this year, a Henderson youth football program did not fold. It fought back. The Henderson Cowboys overcame months of uncertainty, won state titles, and are now packing for nationals. Fox 5's Sophia Brunsma reports.
Earlier this year, the Cowboys were told that they could no longer practice at their field, a Clark County School District decision that disrupted 2 decades of tradition. The team scrambled, traveling across town to a different field, pleading with CCSD's Board of Trustees. They have since regained a set scheduled at their home field at Silvestri Middle School.
Let's go. Going to another state, flying with their teammates, and competing for a national championship. That's a huge accomplishment.
Cowboys are 7-1, securing state championships. The next up is the national stage in Naples, Florida. Kickoff is December 6th with a full week of games. They managed to accomplish all of this despite being kicked off of their home field in the beginning of the year. Yet they still played football, moving their field temporarily to Acacia Park about 10 miles away, making it difficult for families to commute and especially hard for kids who bike, who traveled 45 minutes to ride to practice.
Get up. You're a student athlete at the end of the day. You're building characteristics for the rest of their lives.
The team thanks Principal Tippett at Silvestri Middle School for advocating for them to get their field back. Now they're focused on pushing through another hurdle, travel costs, as they aren't cheap.
The only thing that we can control is 3 things: energy, effort, and attitude.
Coach Drip says this group kept grinding all summer and into December, determined to represent Las Vegas on a national stage and to build something that lasts beyond the scoreboard.
Just the brotherhood and the bond that it'll strengthen between them and the coaches as well.
The Henderson Cowboys are raising funds for nationals. Each player has a goal of $800, with a team goal of raising $25,000 for airfare and hotel costs. Sophia Brunsma, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
Good to see them united, and families saying any extra donations will be divided evenly to help every player make that trip. You can learn more on our website, fox5vegas.com.